Hey everybody, how's it going? I am super excited to be here with you painting today. It is supposed to be extremely hot today, so if you can hear my fan, I'm sorry, it's necessary. Even though I have an air conditioner, it's just when it gets like above 35 during the day, it's too much. So the fan has to be on. Unfortunately, today I did decide to wear my glasses because last week was an adventure in painting. Also, last week I painted all of the blue on, and then I found my paint recipe, and then it saw that I painted it completely wrong. So I repainted it, same kind of idea, but with the correct colors this time. So I've got that first highlight layer onto Geigor here. I also decided to start painting his lightning claws just because I needed some sort of contrast on him because he looks very monochromatic right now and I hate that. So, hey Goose, how's it going? So, today, before I start doing, because I still have to do one more highlight at least on, Geigor's armor here, I decided I wanted to do the gold trim so that I could sort of start blocking out colors and see, if I was gonna need, to do a little bit more contrast on the armor. So that's what I'm gonna do today. Also, I see I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, because I paint, oh man, to bring you guys a little closer. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna start blocking out they call it gold. It's not gold, it's like copper. So I've got Monument Pro Acryl Copper. I don't actually use this one that often, so it's still like pretty full. But I think that it'll be the perfect base coat for the gold on my new Space Wolves, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Painting my Shield Maiden sisters before work, amazing. Can't wait to see more of that. Okay, so I actually hate these nozzles, so I just end up opening up the bottle and then putting some paint into my palette this way. So I'm gonna use an old crappy brush for this. And I'm just gonna dig out some paint, put it in the palette. I don't think I'm actually gonna need that much because while the trim is kind of finicky, there's not an incredible amount of it. So, I really like the Monument Hobbies metallics. The coverage is really good. Like, it's such a beautiful color. So, and I, like, this one is not one of my favorites, but I like this to mix into other colors to, like, get highlight colors, so that's what I've been using this for. But the coverage isn't amazing on this one, so using this one as a base coat is a little finicky sometimes, but it's just a really cool, like, light gold color. So we're going to be mixing some highlights if we get that far. I always have plans to do all of this stuff, and then I just never get there. So I'm going to use a 25-cent brush. I find that with metallics they kind of ruin brushes, and while I don't use expensive brushes, I am trying to put these $4 brushes I got at Home Depot through their paces, so I don't want to use the metallics on them until I have more of a opinion sort of formed on them. Hey Mr. Fish, how's it going? Happy Monday! Good old Wog there. This Paragon will go up in Whip Minis in the Play on Tabletop Discord before I have to run to work. Okay, I'll try to remember to check it out. Mondays are tough because I usually schedule a lot of stuff. As you can see, for once, the table is actually clean behind me, and that's because I have a game right after this of Age of Sigmar. So, painting, and then playing, and then chores. That's my day today. But I'll try and hop in the Discord to see your work before my opponent gets here. Hey, Dice Tactics. Hey, Rob. How's it going? Alright, so let's start blocking in some of these colors here. This gold. I did wear my glasses. I'm not sure how much of a difference it'll actually make when it comes to being able to see. Well, I'm on. So basically, I am nearsighted and I can see extremely well when it's close to my face. And I can't see anything if it's like far away. So painting on stream is actually kind of a challenge for me sometimes, and that's why I tend to not do a lot of small details on stream, but I am trying to actually figure out how I'm going to be able to do more, like show you guys more steps of what I do. So I'm trying. We're trying the glasses today, see if that helps. I normally paint like super close to my nose, so I don't normally wear my glasses, but just paint slow and see how far we get. Also, when it's really hot and I'm painting, I do find that it's a little bit difficult to paint because the paint dries really fast. I also live in a desert, which doesn't help. I feel better about this paint job already. Need to get them jeweler's magnifying glasses. Yeah, I feel like that would take a lot of practice to get used to them. Because I feel like you'd move it just a little bit and then it would be like you would lose it almost. But I could try it. I know a lot of miniature painters do it, so I could try. The other option is to mount my camera differently, so it sort of like comes down over the top of my head essentially, so I can paint up close, but I haven't found a solution that works with my tiny space. But I am looking for that as a possible solution. I think that's the best solution. Again, my space is just so tiny that I don't know if I can make it work. What gold is this? This is actually copper by Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl. I've had this one for a really long time. It's a really nice thin consistency with really good pigmentation, like most of their sort of metallic paints, but this one is not one that I end up. I don't use this one that often, and I don't know why, because it is a beautiful color. But I kind of play around with different types of gold and different types of metallics when I paint. So, but yeah, this seems like the perfect base coat for what we're gonna do with the Space Wolves here. My first round of Space Wolves that I started painting like 8 years ago, I used Balthazar gold, and I think that this is pretty close. It's maybe a bit shinier, it's a little less dark, but I think it'll be okay. Heyo, how's it going, Pezber? They're surprisingly easy to get used to. I don't use them as much as I should, but when I have, I haven't had particular issues. Yeah, maybe. I used to have to use a loop all the time in my old job, like a jeweler's loop. So that took a really long time to get used to. And some people, when they were buying jewelry from me, would like, oh, do you have a jeweler's loop? And then they would like struggle to use it, because it's not as, like, it's not how you like naturally expect it to work when you're looking at high magnifications like that. But I'm gonna see how I feel after today's session. If I really just have to wear my glasses, then that will be a free fix. The Warmistress and I are going through our game room, our piles of shame, if you were, and and sort of like just organizing stuff. I sometimes feel anxiety when I feel like I'm sort of surrounded by mountains of stuff that's not organized. So I kind of had like a little mini breakdown on, I think, Saturday, and I was like, can we please organize this room? Like, it's my office, I paint here, I spend like a majority of my time in this particular room, and yeah, I was just sort of like feeling it. So we are going through a lot of our stuff. We're reorganizing the room. My husband is selling some stuff. I don't actually have, I mean, I have a lot of stuff in my pile of shame. I'm not going to like lie about it, but I'm taking a complete inventory of it so that I can sort of make an action plan to get through some of it. And it's actually like kind of good for me to like have a visual, because a lot of times my pile of shame is just like packed away in boxes and I completely forget how much stuff I have. But in general, I tend to think I actually have more than I do. So yeah, I don't have like an unmanageable amount, but it is still quite a lot, and I do want to get through more of it. So yeah, it's good for me to sort of have a visual on my computer that I can look at, and also it helps me if I can like if I have to physically write down stuff that I'm acquiring and like put it into the list, it'll be like, do I really want it? You know, look at how much stuff I actually have. I don't think I need it. So yeah. Had my first tourney last weekend. How did it go? It was a doubles event. Nice. So you automatically had a friend there. That's good. Teamed up orcs with Deathwing. Interesting. We took 5th overall, 3rd in hobby, and 1st in sportsmanship. So I have to say thank you. No, I did not do anything. That was all you, Mr. Fish. Thank you for being an amazing sports person, because I feel like our hobby needs more of that. Okay, so 30k Space Wolf trim is very much different than 40k Space Wolf trim. I feel like it's more delicate than 40k Space Wolf trim, so I'm just gonna take my time and outline the stuff. And I am trying to do close to the box art, which I usually don't do. I usually just do my own thing, but I don't know. Space Wolves just kind of hit different, so while the gray is a little bit darker, I guess, than the box art, I do want to do like all the iconography and stuff the same colors. So I feel like once I block in all of this trim, it's gonna look like a completely different model. I just messed that up. Of course it did. Let's see if I can wipe that off and try again. Yeah, pretty good. Doubles tourneys are super fun. See, I feel like I actually would have fun at one of those because I would have a friend there. Lately, I've been going to tournaments and not having friends there and just not having a very good time. So, yeah, I feel like if there was doubles, that would be really fun. Also, I am going to apologize. My townhouse complex is getting a new roof on today, so if it gets a little noisy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Saying I've had a lot of inspiration when it comes to being dice while rolling, being nice while rolling dice. Well, I'm glad that I could be that for you. I guess I'll just get real. I am really thinking about shutting everything down and not being a content creator anymore. I find it very difficult to one, I find it difficult to get guests and topics that interest me for Be Nice Roll Dice. I quite often have guests like bail now, like somewhat last minute, and then I don't have time to find somebody new, and it's just really frustrating. But on top of that, like, my past 3 tournaments have been really bad experiences for me, and I don't feel like I have the opportunity to play the game that I want. I feel like I have to always like aim to be better and perfect, because if I make a mistake, people come for me in the comment section, or if I want to play just like a silly fluffy list, well then I get told I don't know how to play the game, and yeah, I don't know, I'm just like really struggling with it. I kind of just have been not sharing any of the games that I play, and it's been really nice. Because I used to share all of them and like the things that I'd learn and stuff, and I just like, I don't have the, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't have the energy just to like deal with like people's comments anymore. And when I started getting comments in real life too, I was like, I don't know if I want to continue doing this. So yeah, so basically I have like a big decision to make, and I've just sort of been taking a step back to try and decide what I want to do. I'll start bringing on your own community members for the podcast. Yeah. So here's the thing. How I've always sort of done the podcast is I figure out a topic that I want to talk about, and then I find the right person who is like an expert in that. Right? So if I choose the guest, then I have to force a topic that maybe I'm not super interested in that moment or whatever. And all of the episodes that I've done in that way I've absolutely hated, and a lot of them I've actually deleted. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one to do. And yeah, I'm not too sure. Like, it's when people aren't nice to me, I just find it hard to like preach being nice. So really, like, I've sort of been talking to the dudes on the podcast and trying to get some help on how to tell people just to like go screw themselves and not internalize all the fucking negative crap that comes my way. But so far I've not been successful, and like, yeah, until I can figure out if I can sort of do my own thing, it's really hard to want to make the podcast, the video podcast. So I've just been doing like a lot of thinking lately. and not really coming up with any answers, unfortunately. But I just think it would be really freeing to just sort of be, to just be Tanya and have the space to make mistakes and learn and not have to deal with all of the negative stuff that sort of comes along with being a content creator. Don't have the spoons. Exactly. Zan, I don't have the spoons. Don't owe us a thing. See, I feel like I owe it to, like, other women to keep going, but now, well, that's how I always felt before, but now that there's, more women in the community making content and playing the game and stuff, I feel like I don't need to be here anymore, because that was always, like, my main reason for doing content in the first place, and now that that reason is gone, it's like, well, do I need to be here? And I just don't know. I do enjoy, like, sitting here and painting with you all, so I think I would probably still do that, but I just don't know if I want to keep doing the podcast. Like, I'd probably still do, like, the odd, forge the narrative, but that's getting a little difficult. Life's too short to hate doing something. I don't think I hate it, and I don't hate making the content. I just hate dealing with, like, all of the stuff that comes after I make it. Like, there's even a subset of people who just, like, hate content creators and hate women in the space. So it's like dealing with all of that. Like, somebody accused me of only doing this for the money, and I was like, I do have a Patreon, which I just started. Which I am eternally grateful for, but I haven't cashed it out because I'm trying to decide if I want to get a 4K camera or if I want to use the money for the original intention, which was to go do, like, collaborations with other people, because I have a potential. Well, I mean, I have a standing invitation to go back to mini wargaming to play some games, and that was always sort of what the Patreon was supposed to be for, because I don't make that much money. I don't have a great, like, I mean, I love my job, but it doesn't pay very well, so, yeah. So do I do that, or do I get a 4K camera? I haven't decided yet. My beautiful friend Kaylee, aka Nurgle Snurgle, is going to be at Mini Wargaming at the end of September, and I would just, like, really love to see her in person. So, yeah, I'm also torn about that. I just have, like, so many, like, decisions to make right now. Could always be good to just simply take a break from content creating. I have taken breaks before, and they're great. But yeah, I have taken breaks before. I'm kind of in a break right now because I'm just basically making YouTube shorts and doing this. So that's basically taking a break. Scary is pretty soon off to Europe for the World Team Championships, so we don't really have any streaming until October. I think he said he wanted to come back, so I just might do more of this. I did set up a vote on the Patreon for patrons if there was a day that they specifically liked better for me to do a second stream, so that's something I could be doing. By the podcast, you mean Be Nice, Roll Dice, or Forge the Narrative? Probably Be Nice, Roll Dice. Now that I'm not really playing Warhammer 40k, I struggle to find my voice on Forge the Narrative, so I mean, I love my podcast bros. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like a lot to sort of to think about, right? Because I've worked really hard to grow what I have, and it's really like it's a big decision to just like leave all that hard work behind. Be the godmother of the space and do guest appearances on others' content. I guess. I mean, maybe. I mean, I do like to create stuff. It's all the other stuff. And I think that I would still, like, I feel like I would be more open to criticism if I did that. I mean, I know we're always going to be criticized no matter what we do. Like, I could be a perfect individual, and just because I'm a woman in a male space, I'm going to be criticized. But, I don't know, just like, work so hard to try and create a sort of fun atmosphere and stuff, and now I'm not having fun in the real world. I will say, if you don't know somebody, probably teasing them is not a good idea. Which is what happened to me at my second to last tournament. So a stranger teased me. I found out after the fact that they didn't mean anything by it, but they picked something that I'm very, like, self-conscious about and decided to tease me about it, and I don't know them. So it kind of just came across as bullying, and it really made me feel like I didn't belong. I already struggle with feelings of that, and it just sort of like compounded that. And I was at the bottom table, you know, like, that's like a fun, safe space for me. Like, I quite often consider before going to tournaments, like, maybe I should just submarine. So I can go hang out in my, like, safe space. So it was just, like, kind of eye-opening there. Yeah, you're raking it in. My YouTube channel is not even monetized, so I don't get any money from the old Google machine. Have you considered doing hobby streams with more than one person? I do that. I do that with Scary on Thursdays and Fridays normally, but we're on a bit of a break right now because he's, like I say, he's going to Europe, so he needs to focus on, like, his training and stuff for the World Team Championship for Team Canada. But yeah, I do that. It's fun. I guess it just always seems like as a content creator of sorts that you should always be doing more, and you should always be aiming to be growing and all that stuff. That's the other thing, like, the content that I like to do is not, it's not the content people in general go for anymore. So there's that too, right? So, like, the stuff I enjoy making doesn't reach as many eyeballs anymore. And that always makes you question too. It's like, well, why am I even doing this? I like to make content to help people, But if they're not seeing it, I'm not helping them. Or maybe they don't want help. But really, I need help right now. I need help. You've got to have gotten literally dozens of dollars from Patreon by now. Literally dozens. The person I got these Sisters of Battle heads from gave me some extra ones and asked to see my Nordic sisters once I painted them up. That's because it's an amazing idea. Speaking of teasing, there was some lighthearted jabs poked at our opponents from across the room in our last game. Yeah. I mean, if you're at the table and you can read somebody, I think that's fine. I've never played this. That's not true. I have played this person before in my very first tournament, and this person was really quite understanding. I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea what changed. I've only played him once. It was not like we were friends after that. He's like not, neither of us, I would say, are like extroverts or anything. So yeah, I don't know what happened. After calling the wall first turn 3 games in a row, someone shouted out, "He's done it every game, for God's sake, stay on your back line." That's funny. I don't think I've ever called a wall first turn. I'm like a second or third turn kind of war. But to be fair, I haven't played my orcs in like 6 months? Probably more than 6 months. I haven't played 40k since March. I'm gonna have to do some like major cleanup on here. Oh, I'm so messy right now. So messy. My last play on game, I basically got told that I don't know how to play the game because I didn't win hard enough, and that was also like, that was my first win, and like everybody sort of stole my win from me. Like it was my first win on a battle report, and yeah, I just really felt like my win was stolen, and I was like, okay. Literally, there's nothing that I can do to like win the respect of the community that like most other players just get. They just get as the default. So I just kind of stopped playing after that. I have also never called a wall first turn regardless of the fact that I haven't played orcs in 40k ever. I try and let others make the first move with the teasing and trash talk. I can just as easily not tease or trash talk. It's not a big part of the game for me. It's not a big part of the game for me either. I think it's something that happens in 2 instances. Either if you are like a top competitive player who is sort of familiar with everybody else, or if it's somebody that you play in a casual setting and you play quite often. Like my friend Chance and I will trash talk like amazingly because like that's our relationship. We've established that through several games, right? So yeah, that's just my suggestion. If you don't know the person, you've not really played that much with them, they might be struggling with, social anxiety and stuff. Maybe just like don't tease them. Gosh, so much trim. I was looking through the Horus Heresy book, and I was looking to see like what the heraldry looks like, and a lot of it is like Celtic knotwork, and I was like, no, that's gonna be a big old note for me. I am not going to be painting knotwork on people's like pauldrons and stuff. I'm gonna take a big old skip on that. I went very, very fast in with that 5+ invul. Now it helps a lot. Slowest unit I took had a 10-inch move, but was characters, so could advance and charge same turn. Nice. I feel like the community can be both really nice and really toxic at the same time. Yeah, there's like not really much in between, is what I'm finding at tournaments. It's like you're either like meeting the most amazing people, or you're meeting somebody who you're like, I kind of just would rather not be here right now. It can be fun as part of the game, but it's got to be someone you know ahead of time. Exactly. And like read the room. If somebody is not having a good time with you trash talking them, then it could also be something to not do. Okay, let me pull up this picture of Senior Geigor here, because he's got a little belt buckle underneath this, and I don't know. It looks like it's gold. There's so much trim on this guy. Like, look at how fancy he is. I don't enjoy the Dice Check channel because of their trash talking, but I enjoy some of them as solo content creators because they don't have anyone to feed off of. It's funny how like group dynamics can change the entire feel of a battle report. There's one pretty big channel that like is probably one of the biggest battle report channels, and if there's certain people playing other people, I can't watch it because they just feed off of each other in like the weirdest way, and it feels like they want to one up each other, and I'm just like, can't you just like relax, just relax a little bit. Y'all, this trim, it's like painting Chaos Space Marines. That may be more difficult because it's very dainty. Smash of Squigs and Killerig led by the Warmistress on Dagasaur, all about getting punched in the face as quickly as possible. My sister's shields are getting very basic designs on them since I don't really want to freehand paint Celtic symbols, right? Like I actually want to get this army done at some point in my life, and I feel like if I was freehanding Celtic knotwork onto their like pauldrons and stuff, I would be here forever. Thankfully this guy doesn't have any of that, so should be able to get him done relatively quickly. Okay. I have like a little spider friend down here. You can't see him. He's like off camera. He's just like hanging out. Just comes and checks in on me, sees what I'm doing, and then like runs back behind the paint. It's kind of cute actually. I was the only Xenos player in a swarm of Imperium. Really? There was no Tyranids? There's no Tau? Nothing like that? No Dark Eldar? Interesting. Imperium is like not the greatest right now. We barely have any Imperium at my local game store, right? I feel like most people, let me see, Tyranids, Forces of the Hive Mind, Sisters, so there's Imperium, Tau. I'm trying to think if anybody's playing Space Marines. I know Krister's playing Space Marines. He's playing Dark Angels. We've got Necrons. Adam's kind of like all over the place. Sometimes he plays Imperium. I'm actually pretty excited to have, this is my league game that I'm having today. I'm very excited. I think it will be a really, really fun game. I'm playing against Blades of Corn. Although it might be Stormcast. We'll see. I'm going to be playing Night Haunt for this one. I basically have two lists. I have one Night Haunt and one Ogre list, so I'm playing Night Haunt in my personal league matchups, and then when people can't make their matchups for that round, then I sort of fill in with the Ogres. And so that's been pretty fun. I'm still one of like 3 total Eldar players in the Play on Tabletop Discord. Interesting. There's gotta be more than that. There's like hundreds of people in that Discord. Gotta be more than that. I actually don't think that the glasses are helping that much. In terms of helping me to see what I'm actually painting. They look cute though. I will say that. Yeah, we played against Sisters, Dark Angels, Space Wolves, Grey Knight, Salamanders, and Death Watch. There's also a bit of Heretic Astartes, but surprise no Tower Nids. That is very surprising. So Necrons are really good right now. It's kind of surprising that you didn't have any Necrons. Those Night Haunt of yours are beautiful. Thank you. I'm actually really enjoying painting them. I have 20 chain rasps that I'm assembly line painting right now. And they're probably 2/3 done. So I'm just doing all their sort of ethereal skin at the moment. And yeah, I'll just do their weapons, their bases, they'll be done. I always like to sort of start with like a big assembly line of troops, because then I feel like you've done like the most tedious, mind-numbing part of your army. So my Night Haunt are no different. We're gonna do tons of cheap units so that they are done. I have a little nubbin of pigment on this brush, so let's see if I can remove that. Yep. I'm sure there are more Eldar players, but of us vocal Eldar players. Okay, like active on the Discord. get a bit of FOMO when it comes to the 40k landscape. I really like the Xenos factions, but if you think of it like wrestling or boxing, the headline match is always Imperium versus Chaos. They get the ogre mob buys. I don't understand. Mob, no. I don't get it. Zan, I don't get it. I think like the headline is just usually like Imperium versus everything, because the Imperium is so like xenophobic, and now has like chaos on their door. I'm gonna have to go in and like clean up these edges, I think. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do all of the trim, and then I'm gonna wash it in Reikland Flesh Shade and see how much of that hides the mistakes, and then if it doesn't, then I'm gonna go through with the like the darker blue gray that I have, and I'm just gonna like basically line over the mistakes. Is what I'm gonna do. And yeah, because this is really ornate armor, I don't think I'm going to do as much for edge highlights on the gray blue. Because I just don't want there to be, like, I don't want, like, it's a busy model. I don't want to add more busyness to it. And, like, when I stopped painting Space Wolves, I think at that point in my life, I was just like over all the fanciness of their armor. But now that I've painted a few things and I kind of have more experience under my belt, I do want to go back to them, and I actually have a lot of stuff still for my Space Wolves to paint. I have a few dreadnoughts, and because, you know, I love dreadnoughts, so I think it could be fun. There's trim that goes all the way here. Oh, a bye week. If they don't have an opponent or something, the ogre's villain. Oh, yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I need to head off, but I hope you catch that break you deserve. It's a shame you're playing less 40k, but I do feel your pain regarding the competitive front. Thank you so much, Dice Tactics. I really wish that I could find the will to return to 40k, but I'm really enjoying Age of Sigmar at the moment, so at least I have that as like a, I don't want to say consolation prize, because it's actually just a really wonderful community. But yeah, I won't ever stop playing. I just want to stop playing like publicly and stop playing strangers. I own Tau, Orcs, and Harlequins, but the Quins are too complicated for me, so they're just going to be a display army, and I found I don't like Horde armies, so that kind of hurts my Orcs and Tau. You can play pretty elite Tau now. I feel like they've got some really good sort of elite builds. My little spider friend is back. Where did he go? Now he's gone. so he's got all these rivets on his armor, and I'm trying to decide if I want to do them gold or like black. I feel like with so much trim, I feel like they shouldn't be gold. Maybe I'll just do them black. Or I can hit them with a color that's a little bit lighter than the actual armor color. Maybe I'll do that too. Nah, Quins are easy. It's just bubbling, moving, and fading, and stacking random silly buffs. I don't think that they're easy. I don't think the game at all is easy. And I think sometimes when we tell people that it's easy, it can make them feel bad. It makes me feel bad because I struggle a lot with 40k. And when people are like, nah, it's easy, it's just like you're kind of like diminishing somebody's experience. And just because like you find something easy, it doesn't mean that everybody will. So I'm going to side with Rob and say that I don't think Harlequins are that easy, because I don't think that the game is that easy. I theoretically still have a chance to play you in 40k someday. I mean, yeah, theoretically, anybody could theoretically play me. I'm too heavily invested in 40k to ever, like, completely leave it, I think. Speaking of Space Wolves, that opponent went all in on Doggos, and his fluff, his fluff, they were a blessing born of an Aurora Borealis, so all the puppers were purple. Oh, that sounds amazing. I actually want to paint one of my Fenrisian wolves like my actual doggo. I think that'd be cute. Oops, all crisis suits. Exactly. You can run orcs not in hordes, but requires a lot of transports. I only had 6 units on the table with my 1k. Amazing. It's also more just I mained Quins for all of 8th edition. Right? So you have a lot of experience with them, so maybe you can play them with your eyes closed. But that doesn't mean that what you can do is easy. I think sometimes a lot of us kind of mistake, and I think it's like maybe a little self-deprecating, right? To say like, oh, I can do it, it's easy. It's like, well, no, maybe you are gifted. Maybe, I actually had a little bit of a conversation with Red, one of my my podcast homies, about it, right? Because he came in, I think like 24th or something this weekend at Lone Star Open. So like, just amazing, good job, fantastic. And he was basically like downplaying his accomplishments, which is fine. He's a very humble man. And he called himself a casual because he didn't really practice a lot before the past few tournaments that he's done, and he's kind of making it seem like what he was doing is easy. And I had to remind him, like, no, it's because you are blessed. Like, you are blessed with a brain that can just keep up with the rules. You are blessed with like an innate ability to just pick up the game and learn it, and you also have a war games degree. So, like, don't play down your accomplishments. You know, maybe it's even something that you worked really hard on. Maybe you played a lot of 8th edition. You worked really hard on it, and now you can reap the benefits of that. And that's amazing. But, like, for me, like, for instance, to sort of show you how much work it takes me to learn how to play 40k and still be bad at it, I had to study fights first and fights last for 5 hours to understand how it works and to source out people that I could ask for advice and confirmation to make sure that I actually interpreted it correctly. Like 5 hours for one rule. That's not feasible for me to still have a job and to try and make content and try to still play games and paint my models. Like that kind of study is not, it's not, like I can't maintain that. That's one rule. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's kind of like, it's kind of another reason I had to step back for sure. Cause like the effort I was putting in, I didn't feel like I was getting, I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere, and that combined with like the pressure from outside sources to just be good, like immediately, it was just too much. I could go more crisis suits, and I am tempted to do speed freaks, but I'm still scared of the incoming armies of renown all go away in January. Correct. It's also hard because we're sort of like, there's no announcement, but everybody's expecting a new edition in the summer. So it's hard to like sort of commit to anything, especially a SKU list, if you just really, like, so much is up in the air right now. I played way too much and played against people that have been playing in tournaments for 20 years mostly. Exactly. Right? So maybe it's not easy, right? Sounds like you're in a bit of a pressure cooker for learning fast and hard. It's like, it literally, I don't feel like I'm able to play a game. It feels like it is a part-time job, learning how to play 40k. And on top of that, it's like I have like the world's worst boss that like nothing is ever good enough, is what 40k feels like. You know? And yeah, it just kind of sucks. Because I still love the lore. Like, I'm reading Deliverance Lost right now. No spoilers, please. I'm only halfway through. And I love the lore. I love so much about 40k. I'm so heavily invested in it. But yeah, it's like, it can't just be a game for me. Like, somebody in my local area who plays in tournaments all the time actually told me, like, oh, I thought you'd be better at this game. It's like, should I? Why should I be better at this game? Right? Why should I? It's just very tiring. Like, I put enough expectation on myself. I don't need, like, this other crazy amount of expectation placed on me, too. Because really, that's crazy. I've not been playing very long compared to most of them and can already go toe-to-toe with them pretty solidly. Amazing. You should give yourself a pat on the back and thank your brain for being able to pick up rules really quickly, and that you don't have to study for 5 hours to understand what a rule says. You should thank your brain for being an amazing gift to you. Have a great day, Rob! And I would also love to see this Harlequins army that you are doing, even if it is just for display. I enjoy Harlequins quite a bit. I think they're beautiful. The world's worst boss who keeps changing the assignment. Yup. Like, mid-assignment. Right? Like, I just feel like no matter what I do, I'm gonna get shit on. Oh, you're playing Custodes. Well, obviously, you're a meta chaser. Okay, so I'm not gonna play them anymore. Oh, well, you're playing guard? Well, why are you losing? You suck. Okay, well, I guess I won't play guard then. Oh, you're playing orcs? This is new for you? Oh, why aren't you better with them? You obviously don't know what you're doing. Okay, I'm not gonna play orcs anymore. And I know that, like, I know that there's other female content creators on big channels that also feel the same way. So, it's rough out there, folks. If you're gonna leave a critical comment, maybe stop and think, why am I leaving this? What purpose does this serve? What do I hope to achieve with it? I need an airbrush if I'm ever gonna paint my quins well. Why? Makes you say that? I've seen some wonderful Harlequins that are painted with just a regular brush. Like, beautiful work. Why do you think you need to have an airbrush? I mean, an airbrush is very useful and can help you achieve certain things really quickly. But I think it was Miniac who actually did. I think he said in one of his videos, he's like, the best tool is the brush, but the airbrush is, you know, useful for saving time. I found that really interesting because I feel like a lot of people see it as like a completely necessary thing, and I used an airbrush twice, and both times I was so frustrated I ended in tears. So I will probably never end up using one personally. It is not for me. I'm far too lazy and don't have nearly steady enough hands. Oh, that's fair enough. It's interesting you say that too. Was it last night? No, the night before. My friend Dexter came over and he was playing his League game against... Was it his League game? No, he was playing Star Wars Legion with my husband. And Dexter paints all of his models, and he has actually a condition that makes his hands shake, and he will he'll never be without this condition. He'll always have it. And he paints all his models, and they look awesome. I always thought it would be cool if he did painting tutorials, because I think that he would be like a super big inspiration for people who really struggle with. I haven't painted this tabard, not tabard, this sheath for this for his combat knife yet, so I'm not being super careful with the gold here. If y'all were wondering what's going on, that's what's going on. I just need to look at this real close because I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Okay. But yeah, I always thought it would be cool if he did painting tutorials because he's just a really big inspiration for me, and what he accomplishes is amazing. Would that be somebody that you would be interested in me having on Be Nice Roll Dice? I'd have to like interview him in person, I think, because I don't know if he's got like a decent webcam, since he's not really a content creator. But is that like an interesting topic, do you think? I think I'm gonna do the tabard, like there's a few like leather bits, so I think I'm just gonna do the why do I keep saying tabard? It's not a tabard, it's a sheath. I think I'm gonna do it just like a leathery kind of color. And again, this will be painted black, this like little shield thingy, so I'm not gonna be super careful with it. I just paint the whole thing and then fill in the rest later. I've never caught the podcast, but I'd love to see it. It's just on YouTube. I haven't done one in a few weeks, again, because just wasn't sure if it's something to keep doing, especially when it's so hard to get guests to come on. Yeah, it's not so much like an interview. It's more like tips and tricks and like talking about different problems that may happen in the community, or talking about ways to make things better. But Dexter is somebody I really enjoy talking with, so that could be a really fun. It could be a really fun episode. It could also be a little bit difficult because I'd have to put like multiple inputs. I guess we could share. I have like an actual microphone that I don't use for anything, but we could probably share the microphone. We could just do like this, back and forth. You could set up like a talk show studio setup. I can't because everything is hardwired into a very tiny space. So I couldn't actually set up like 2 big comfy chairs or anything. Well, it's something I could think about. Probably thinking scabbard. That's it. Thank you, Zan. Thank you, Zan. Yeah, I wish that I had more room to do stuff. Because even, like, I was thinking about setting up to do, like, live battle reports. Because I have, a decent table that can be set up at all times and whatnot. And it's like, I just don't have enough room. Like, I don't have room to set up lights, proper lights. And if people can't see, like, the models that are being moved or whatever, like, what's the point in watching? So I might be able to like mount better lights because I just have one sort of ceiling fan light. So I might be able to mount some better lights. Just gonna have to like look at a budget and see if I have a budget for it. This guy is so fancy. Like, just putting a little bit of contrast on this model, it makes me like him a lot more. Because I just left him after putting that sort of gray-blue on, and I was like, oh, he's so boring. But now that I have an interest piece on him, like, I'm starting to see the potential. I made eyes that don't look like complete garbage. Let's just take a moment to congratulate Goose on a painting milestone. Congratulations. Eyes are difficult, and it's especially difficult to like make them look like they're focused on the same thing. Like having wandering eyes is something I had for a really long time. I wonder if I could actually find a ridiculous one. How about this guy who's like totally on some sort of like mind-bending drug? Like his pupils are huge. He's like totally having a trip right now. Yes, my old space wolves. Love you guys. I'm just trying to think like what to do about his sword. I think I might do like the hilt of his sword. The gold. Because I feel like it needs some gold on it, right? It's gonna need some gold, for sure. It doesn't matter if I get any gold on the inside here, because this is all going to be painted black. But I don't want to put too much on here. I did put a little bit on here because those are going to be painted red, so I'm not too worried about it. And that's why I think like having a bit of a painting plan, like going through and knowing what colors you're going to do where, I think is really useful. Because it can help you sort of save a bit of time and not do a lot of cleanup while you're sort of while you're just trying to like block in colors and stuff, because you know what's sort of coming next. It's gonna be a different color, so I'm just gonna do a little overlap in here. Yeah, I missed a bit here. This. Yeah, the pupils here aren't too big and kind of seem to be looking the same direction. So all you need... My space wolves are all, like, on mushrooms or something. I don't know. Threw the Paragon in... Oh, into the Discord there? Okay, this is going to be a little bit difficult to paint this bit, so... I'm gonna hold my breath as I do it. Oh, damn it. Well, that's gonna have to be a cleanup. Whoopsies! Whoopsies! So, I'm going to... What time is it? Because I need to eat something before my opponent gets here. 2:15. I got a bit more that I can do here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish up doing the details on the backpack because there's actually not that much in the gold that I need to do. Just those, that, and then a little bit of trim here. But most of this is actually gonna be black, so I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna wash off camera, and then I'm gonna do the cleanups, and then I will start doing the gold highlights next week. That's what I'm gonna do. Indeed. Okay, I really need to make sure that I check out that in the Discord. I'm gonna try, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a little dot right here. Play on tabletop Discord. There. Now when I see it, I'll remember that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And this I don't really have to be very careful about at all because everything else is going to be painted after. So do not have to be too careful here. I gotta run to get ready for work. Aw, boo, work. So have fun painting and then have fun playing Age of Sigmar. Thank you so much. I hope that you have a wonderful day at work. I hope that your shift is done quickly so that you can come home and do fun stuff that is not work. I hear a wild Warmistress. Ah, you've come to pet the dog. Yes.
Or like checking up on the dog.
He's not destroying the bedroom. He is in fact just resting. Also, my paint is starting to get dry on the palette because it's hot. Alright, the little is wanting lunch, so I'm off. It was a great stream as always. Have a great one, and wow! I don't want to blow out your eardrums, so... Have a great day, Mr. Fish. Enjoy your time with your little. I'm gonna be done here pretty quick, too. Well, I am enjoying painting this model, which is really good, because at the end of 7th, I wasn't really enjoying painting my Space Wolves anymore, so this is nice. This is like a nice treat. And I'm enjoying this. Has anybody used acrylic retarder? It's like a paint additive that you can use that apparently makes it so your paint doesn't dry, because I tried using it and I didn't actually notice any difference besides it changing like the texture of the paint. I don't know, maybe I'm doing it wrong, because it's really hard to paint for extended periods of time where I live in the summer, just because it's freaking hot and dry. So yes, I do have paint retarder. I do not know if I'm using it right. Okay, so all this is going to be black. Majority of this backpack's going to be black. So I'm just going to... Now I do have to be careful somewhat on the inside with this trim. The outside doesn't really matter that much. This paint is not super workable right now. Hopefully I can just get what I need to get done. I've been painting a lot at night actually, because it's just so much easier Yeah, I did a bunch of painting on my night haunt last night, which was really fun. It's really difficult in the heat of the day. Okay, so just this. I just messed that up. Whoopsies. Have to fix that. Also, there's like no real saving the paint if you mess up. Like normally you can flood it and then it's fine, but when it's this dry, you just can't. You just have to go in and like repaint over it. Yeah, this paint's very not workable right now. Womp womp. Womp womp. Yeah, at a certain point you just have to kind of be like, well, it is what it is. Why fight the environment? Don't fight it. Just accept you're gonna have to go do some touch-ups later. And yeah, it doesn't really matter too much on this backpack because I still have to paint a majority of it anyway. Okay, last little bit of trim. Now I'm gonna go get ready for my league game. Yeah, that doesn't matter too much on the outside because that's gonna be black. Oh, hopefully I don't have to add more paint. I'm really trying to like make this paint stretch because I just really don't want to put more paint in the palette for this little bit and then waste it. Okay. Can I stretch it? Can I stretch it? Yes. Might have to do a little bit of touch-ups after. But I'll do those off screen because those are boring. That's like easily my least favorite part of painting is like all the touch-ups that sometimes need to be done. Okay. Cool. I feel pretty okay with what I got done today on stream. I'm going to be doing another stream later on in the week. I just have to decide what day I'm going to do it, but it's kind of looking like Friday. It's looking like Friday evening, probably around 7 Pacific, which would be about 10 o'clock Eastern. But that's what I'm kind of aiming for right now. Okay, so I got all of the trim blocked out. I'm going to go through and do my touch-ups, and then I'm going to wash all of it in Reichland Fleshshade, which is like my go-to wash for gold. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll come back later on in the week once all the touch-ups and stuff are done, and then maybe I won't do the highlights. Maybe I'll block out the red and do the black. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Let's block out some colors later on in the week. Just so we can sort of start to see what we're working with here. So yeah, we'll do some black, we'll do some red later on in the week, and then we could start doing some highlights after that. I think I am going to do his face last, just because I always start with faces and I feel like mixing it up this time. So it is time for me to go and set up my table so that I can play Age of Sigmar. I gotta throw some terrain and stuff down, and then I will see you all later on in the week for some more painting, and yeah, this is really nice. Thank you for helping me, like be my free therapist, as I can like work stuff out inside my old brain pan while I sit and chat with you all. I really appreciate you all being there with me, and yeah, that's it. Be nice, roll dice, everyone, and have some great games. Paint your minis if you like. If not, just thank you for being here. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye, everybody.